What is going on? I'm Pigpen, the one and only, and this is a very special perfect launch tutorial for the W Motors Lykan Hypersport. This top tier racer club reward car is somewhat scarce due to the limited number of players who managed to max out their gem spending power during the last racer club. If you're lucky enough to have one of these Hypersports, then you won't want to miss what I'm going to share with you next. In this perfect launch tutorial, I'll show you two different ways to shift this lightning fast car. First will be regular shifts, and second will be with ghost shifts. Without wasting any time, let's get to it. So if you choose to use regular shifts, this is how it's done. Max out the RPMs ASAP, drop between the second and third lights, watch the needle, which falls pretty quick, and launch at 3,400 RPMs. Your first shift is late at the wall. After that, it's 7,300, 7,300, then 7,500, 7,500, and 7,500. Here we go. And that's your perfect launch tutorial for the W Motors Lykan Hypersport. 6.685, that's a most respectable time without ghost shifting. Just ask Quarter Mile Virgin, the current world record holder with this car. He was generous enough to share the shifts with me and some pointers as well, and in return, I'm sharing them with you. So here's a shout out to Quarter Mile Virgin. While we're at it, I'll give another much needed shout out to Japan Floor for hooking me up with this Lykan Hypersport so I can make this video for you. After this perfect launch tutorial, make sure to stick around for some Racing Rivals live streaming talk. Okay, let's go shift this baby. Everything's the same except for we're going to shift from first to third, late at the wall. Here we go. Wow, that was fast. My fastest time so far. Whoa, the Hypersport still has a bit more in it, but that, my friends, is what you want to do. So guys, my goal, as always, is to help you improve your game and enjoy Racing Rivals even more than you already do. Sad to say, but that just about wraps up this perfect launch tutorial for the W Motors Lykan Hypersport. At some point, make sure to check out my max setup tutorial, but not right now. Stay right here and join me for some live streaming Q&A with a very special guest. Thanks for joining me. If at any time you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe and turn those notifications on. So I'll see you in just a moment with some live streaming action. Take care. Yeah. Welcome to the live stream, everybody. I'm your host, Pigpen, the one and only. I've got a great episode lined up for you tonight with a special guest. This person has been playing Racing Rivals for about 3+ years. You may know him from his Facebook group, Racing Rivals Collective Records. You guessed it, none other than our own community manager, Prodigal Grim. How you doing, man?
Hey, what's up? Welcome.
Oh man, I'm so glad that you decided to join me here and take some time out of your busy schedule just to talk Racing Rivals.
Oh, my pleasure.
We have a lot of people watching right now, so I'm a little nervous, but that's okay. The jitters will go away. I hope everybody had a great turf week. A lot of excellent events this week. I wish I had more time to turf, but I had to stop a little early so I could set up for this live stream with Grim. We're going to jump right into the topics that I wanted to talk about. It's all over Facebook, all over the groups. You've addressed these several times, and I think it's just awesome. the changes that are going to be coming down the pipeline. So, one of the big topics all over the place, self-crushing and points and turf, because it's a huge part of the game. Can you elaborate? There's some changes coming down the pipelines, and I'm not sure if everybody is aware of them.
Well, all right. Well, I'll start off in this way. All right. A lot of people have said, why do we change the why are we changing the whole turf crush system uh, to defeat self crushing? And I'll address this in two parts. The
Mm-hmm.
whole way that race points and crush points are being changed is completely negligible of self crushing, and the reason is because cars never crushed equivalently. I mean, I've had some people tell me that it's the system we're going to is actually very similar to the way it worked back before Android was even or Racing Rivals was even available for Android. Basically, the way whatever car you're using, whatever class you're in, that's going to determine your race points. Whenever you smash a car, it's what class is it and how much stuff did you put onto it. So your investment in that car is what makes or breaks that car. Not I'm gonna we use a term called min maxing, which is like trying to figure out how to get the best with the littlest possible. And right
Mm-hmm.
now you can run, for a Ford event, you just use a whole bunch of titaniums or SVTs. You don't even bother with anything else. So there's no point to use the in-game content.
And
I mean, there's a lot of freaking cool cars out there.
yeah,
Nobody uses them.
that's my biggest problem so far is just the fact that there's all these cars, like you said, out there, and no matter which events are in the lineup for the week, it always seems to fall on the same handful of cars. D class
Oh yeah.
cars, C class cars. They max them out just enough. Like you said, the term min max. I like that. I heard that before. I didn't quite understand it, but now I do. That's a good term. I like that. So, yeah, I mean, there's cars like the SVT. You race them, and it's like going to school and reading and studying up a few questions right before the test, and you get those right, but everything else you fail, but you just squeak by, and that's how I feel it is right now. There's no when I race, I want the adrenaline pumping. I want something of value on the line, and when I go into Ford event and there's all SVTs, it's just like, there's just no, not that I'm saying there's no challenge, because that's not the
Yeah,
case.
nothing's worse than when you bring a B class, say a 2015 Mustang GT into
Hmm.
the 1650 lobby. Everybody starts, why are you bullying everybody? Why don't you get a faster car? Uh,
That's it. There was just a post on Facebook the other day. Somebody that a lot of people know was racing a faster car and was in a lobby with slower people, and they were having a
yeah,
field day with them.
yeah.
Yeah, they were having. It's like, hey, you know what? Why
That's
don't you
the
guys get a
beauty of
faster
racing
car?
rivals, though. All right, let's take a real world scenario. Okay, you pull up and somebody stops at a red light with next to you, and they're in a freaking souped up Integra, and you're in a Neon. They don't know neither person knows what's under the other person's car. All they can do is listen for the maybe or for a turbo when they start trying to jimmy the gas and wait for that blow off. But you don't know, and then it's like, all right, fine, let's go. And green, hit the road. That's what Racing Rivals was intended to be like.
Hmm. I agree
So,
with that. I like the fact that you don't know what's under the hood. You don't know what your opponent's going to perform, but it's it feels like it's on autopilot lately. Like
yeah.
the events, and you can predict right off the bat. If it's JDM, there's going to be a lot of Honda Civic SIs. There's going to be a lot of C-Class Subi Coupes. I mean, that's a fun car, but do I want to race these all the time and all the events? I heard a lot of people say there's a lot of people out there that want single car events back. Like I
Oh, I
hear,
love single car
I
events.
miss those so much because there's not much you can do. You can't hide behind, some of these tactics that people use. You're in the same lobby with the same car, man, and it's head to head action.
Yep. If you're not maxed, then it comes down to who knows how to tune it the best and who
Mm-hmm.
knows how to drive it the best.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Guys, If you're enjoying this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, and I'm going to try to check the live comments here. If you guys have questions, now's the time to ask, because a lot of times you ask me questions, I don't know what the answers are, but we have someone here who might be able to give some sort of insight. So ask these questions. I'm going to kind of try to keep checking chat, and we'll see where this goes. So
Well, here, let me piggyback off of something you said. You were talking about, the same cars being always eligible. Now, with the new system, yes, you get rewarded for racing in a higher end car because, well, if you put more into it, it should be worth more.
mhm.
But the flip side of that is trying to make sure that the events stay fair all the way across. Like right now, let's say you get a front wheel drive event, an all wheel drive event, and a free for all.
Mm-hmm.
No, that's a free for all is a bad example. Let me use something different. Say RWB.
Okay.
Okay, this is a popular event. A lot of people like the cars, and there's some that are available for RRC. But if you want to do it dirt cheap, you take that front wheel drive event and you max out a whole bunch of Civics, and that's what you run. And you try to do your min in that one day. Well, with the way the new things are scaling, we can all agree a Civic Si isn't a high-end car and probably won't crush for what an RWP will then. But the flip side of that is there's event modifiers. They take all three events and try to bring them close to the same level, so that if you're in maxed out of the front wheel drive event, the points are going to be close to that of the RWB event, and it kind of makes every event valuable. So if you want to go and go hardcore all three events and go way up on the totem pole, then you can. If you want to just make all your points in that first event because you're just going to make 30,000 points, that's the team's men, whatever, then you can do that too. So it opens the doors for everybody that wants to just go ham or wants to kind of keep it the way they've been doing. But if you put all your eggs in one basket in one event and you start falling behind, you better be ready to jump in something whatever's eligible at the moment.
I like that. It keeps the competition pretty strong from the first event to the third event. There's no downtime unless, of course, you're there for the min, you get your min, and you're done. But your team's going to start falling behind because each event is worth some good points.
Oh yeah.
Oh wow. So let me ask you a question. A friend of mine mentioned this, and I want to ask: will they continue to give us the events ahead of time, or was that just like a limited thing?
There's, there was a lot of things that said that, oh, we're greedy, oh, this, that, and the other, and and one of the things people hated about single car events was that, and this is back in the old days, say you had a BMW M3 GT2 event.
Mm-hmm.
The average person doesn't have 20 of them sitting in their account, so then you'd have to buy one, spend several thousand gems, maxing a couple of them, and then if you lost your three, you were done for the event.
Mm-hmm.
So by giving those events out early, where our goal is to get more people playing, more people having fun, because nothing like sitting on the sideline when all your buddies are having fun.
Yeah, I mean, I like that. It gives you some time, because before you get the events, like turf started, there's the events, and you're already behind the eight ball, because if you don't have those cars, or you don't have an eligible car, can't even talk, an event eligible car ready to go, there you go. Your buddies are making the points. Your opposition's making the points, and you're sitting there tuning. And guess what happens? Well, you got a jam install, which that's the brakes if it happens. But it kind of keeps you out of the action. So when Carbonated decided to release the events, I thought that was a really cool thing, because we could find them on Facebook, and we knew where to find them throughout the years. But a lot of these new players don't. A lot of these new players. It doesn't help.
The other cool part of that is, let's take the average person. They don't have 6 hours to sit down and play. They may have an hour here, an hour there, and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
So you can either spend that hour actually playing the game, or you can spend an hour tuning, or half an hour tuning and half an hour racing. And
not a hard choice for me.
Yeah, if you've got all that time to prepare, now you're you're taking the average person and making it so they can enjoy the game. And that's if we don't if people if you're not enjoying it, we don't have a game. So
Well, that's it. I mean, you can if you have six, like you said, 6 hours to play. You could use 5 of those hours in race and one to tune, or you can spend 5 hours tuning, which is not fun. I don't like tuning. I don't think there's many people out there besides you that like the
no,
tune.
I like tuning single cars, one car per lobby. I do not
Mm-hmm.
like sitting there going. And we've got some new cool stuff coming out, but you're going to have to tune into Rivals Live on Wednesday at 2 p.m. Pacific,
Mm-hmm.
and I'll have some new bombshells to drop on you guys for that stuff.
Ooh, you guys hear that? So Rivals Live, where's this on?
It's on Twitch TV. The channel is Carbonated Live, no space. But yeah, tuning's going to get better. Find out about it on Wednesday.
Oh, I'm gonna have to tune in. Oh man, I guess bring back the Charger Limited. Edward Lopez wants the
Ooh,
Charger Limited back. And there was a guy here earlier that says, "Why are you so good at tuning?" I like that question.
all right. All right. A little bit of history first. All right. Racing Rivals was never intended for lobby racing. When the game was made, they figured everybody was going to build their cars up, max them, and go.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem was, is some cars just are absolutely terrible in max lobbies. So
They
people
don't hold
got a
their
little
weight.
curious. Well, what happens if I take a couple of these parts off and drop it into a lobby with these other guys? Well, holy crap, it's fast. Well, go a little further. I jumped into the game, and basically what I figured out was every lobby is broken down by a max speed and that in our speed rating,
Mm-hmm.
and you can figure out how fast that car is going to run. Not the actual time it's going to run, but like what power to weight ratio will give you. Let me try again, because it's not exactly entirely simple. What power? Every lobby has a speed, best speed, but you can't figure out based on a tune what that speed is. So the best way to go is to figure out what your power to weight ratio cap is,
Mm-hmm.
and then figure out where you go from, say, 1656 to 1663, and so you find out where that that solid line in the sand is, and then you keep on tuning and tuning and tuning. And you tweak a little bit here and tweak a little bit there, and you get as close to that line. And then every time you make a new tune, that line changes. Either you're getting closer to it or you're over it. Um,
I gotta say, you have more time than I do because that's crazy. I know some of the tunes you put out there, obviously world record tunes. Do you still race? Do you have time to race?
oh yeah. I still race. Let me find my iPad. I was trying to. I was dabbling with the new Camaro. Oh, was it Roman's Camaro? I can't find my. Oh, it's in the car. Darn it. But no, I messed with Roman's Camaro, the Super Sport, the Lykan that just came out. I
Hmm.
think it's freaking. Um,
That's the video. I had that was playing beforehand. We were sitting here when we couldn't talk because it was going, but it was the Lycan.
would you hit?
I did regular shifts. In the video it was a 6.685, and then ghost shifting was a 6.651.
Right on.
So it's got more in it, but I wanted to get that video done. A lot of people were asking for it, and I never even raced one until yesterday. A buddy of mine said, "Hey, let me let you borrow it," and I started practicing it. It's a fun car. Like if you guys keep putting cars out like that, man, I'll never get bored.
Those last two gears are so tricky. You have to nail them like spot on to get the best out of that car.
I still don't know exactly because it's very confusing. There's some gears and there's so many variations. It's really hard to nail down what I did this, what was the same, what was different. So it's hard to get like a basis. Okay, I'm going to keep doing this, and I'm going to make one variation. There's like 3 or 4 variations, and I have to compare them with another 3 or 4 variations, and go, okay, well maybe, and kind of slowly narrow down which gear is supposed to be shifted where, because it's tricky. There's 7 gears in that car, and
One of the things I used to do was when I was making videos before I came over to the dark side. But the dark side's
oh,
good
the
because we have
dark
cameras.
side.
But anyway, I would shoot when I would shoot my videos. I recorded with the camera pointing down at my iPad, and I would then I'd go back and I'd edit through all that footage, but it would let me see exactly where I shifted.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's two ways to look at it. Like when you do screen recordings, you see exactly where the game thinks you shifted. When you can see your hands, you can see when your brain made the light bulb comes on and you know when to shift.
Yep, because there's a very slight, and I'm not going to say a delay, but when you watch your hands, and that's why I make my videos where I show my hands, because people, why don't you get a screen recorder? I have a screen recorder, but it's very. I think it's easier to learn when you can see my hands, because when I watch other videos and I see, it's very hard to tell where the drop is for one.
Oh yeah.
Like on videos, you look at it and go, I watched it 4 times. And I'm like, I think he dropped on the second light. I don't know. But when you see your hands, you can see the drop a little bit better. But then you can
Yeah.
also see, okay, well, the needle's coming down to 3,000. And that's where I'm tapping that button, not where the actual computer, the iPad thinks you're going to tap it. So there's a little bit of a difference.
Well, I'll get a little technical here. There's a couple different types of lag, and
Mm-hmm.
it's called latency. You've got input latency, which is from when you do something and it takes it, and then you've got server late or connection latency, which is from your at when once it's input, then how long it takes to get to the server,
Mm-hmm.
and then you have visual latency, which is from when you see something and then you react. So all those three things go into every single shift, every single launch, and when you so seeing when you react and how to react and where you're going for
Mm-hmm.
helps you figure out how to do it the best you can.
Yeah, it's like playing a video game system that's not online. You have your visual latency and you have your input latency. There's no connection to a server somewhere, and even then you can see but then you add in a third type of latency. Going to wherever the server is and then coming back and the information transfer. It actually it gets pretty complicated, more than I could understand. But hey. So, can we rewind us just a little bit? Because I'd like to hear.
Sure.
I never got to talk to you. We'll rewind to like maybe a couple months back to the Players Summit. Back when
Sure.
you were one of us. Yeah. H- did you enjoy it? What were your thoughts on the Players Summit?
uh, it was a blast. It's all right. So it's kind of like what hooked me in when the offer came for me to come for work for them. It made me want to accept it.
Mm-hmm.
When we bring up bugs or stuff that we could actually show right there in front of them, they pulled us aside with whichever developer or engineer was working on it, and they're like, "Here, show this guy," and
Mm-hmm.
they, bam, they're on it. I mean, just on it right then, right there. Drop everything and yeah, that
I
was a really cool feeling. That was actually, yeah,
it was a
it
good
was a,
because we were
I mean,
there, and I don't remember what issue we were talking about, but there was some bug, some issue, and I'll tell you, I don't want to say names. I don't know if that's acceptable or not, but there were two guys that stayed late after the Players Summit. After we were done and they had put in a full days of work, they stayed overnight practically, worked this bug out, did whatever they had to do. They were tapping away all night long, fixing this thing, and then they came back in the next morning to do it all over again. And it just shows the dedication. I was just like, wow, like, not me, man. I'd be like, I'm out, gonna get some pizza, some beer, take a nap, see it. But no, they sat there and they worked out the issue. Like the dedication level, like really impressed me. I was like, wow. I
oh
mean,
yeah.
you don't see that too often, but
No, one of those guys is his name is Colby, and he was the one that was reading me the questions from Twitch last week.
mm-hmm.
Uh, and I worked a lot of long nights with him, just trying to make sure things work and go out right. It's like I posted a thing on the Racing Rivals Facebook page where we were there till like 3 o'clock in the morning. Well, the picture was taken at like 3 o'clock in the morning. We didn't go home till 5 o'clock that morning.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, I mean it's a lot of work. And it's a lot of long hours, but it's like my weekend. I've been working on. I'm still working on the turf point stuff for that's coming up,
Mm-hmm.
but it's fun. It's a lot of fun. I mean,
Oh,
it's like solving a Rubik's cube every day, and somebody's changing the stickers.
if
But
you
it's
if it's not fun, then why do it? Because it's too short, man. And you know, I know I love this game, and I could sit there. I could say I could sit there and play this game all day long, and I really could. But it takes a certain level of dedication to dig into the not so fun aspect of the game just to make the fun aspect more. So thank you for that. What
you know,
else?
you mentioned that. Now here's something that crazy. Like everybody sees, why can't you fix this or can't you fix that? Sometimes some of the things that we may spend a week fixing, if you don't see a difference after we get through fixing it, then that means we did a good job. So that's a week's worth of work that you're never even going to know that happened, and
Yeah,
that's just fixing back end stuff to make the game run smoother.
that's the case with a lot of things. It's the big issues. People, when you make a change and people notice it, obviously there's a few that you're going to want people to notice, but there's some that are these back end, these quiet things where you're just working numbers, you're working out little wrinkles, and when people don't notice it, and it's just a smooth transition, you did a good job. So, Kelena Rose said, she's like, oh, I just noticed you were in your new studio. Yeah, I'm in my new studio. It's still pretty empty. She asked, she's like, well, it sounds a little weird and there's a lot of echo in here. So that will hopefully be fixed when I start putting rugs down and get some furniture and get some stuff on the walls behind me. I'll kind of give you a little tour later on if you guys are interested, show you around. I mean, it's not much here, but you can see like part of my microphone here. Where is it? Part of my computer back here, and then you can see the wall and part of the ceiling. But I'll show you the desk. I'll show you my mess here, and once I get some rugs, I get some stuff. Hopefully, the echo will go away, and it will sound a little bit more normal in here. So, how is carbonated working for them? I'm gonna put you on the spot.
How's what?
How's working for carbonated? You like it? I
Oh,
mean,
dude,
is it a
it's a
dream
blast.
job? I mean, I think it would be a dream job, but is it as great as it sounds?
All right, so I spent 6 years serving in the military. Then I got out of the military, and I mean, and then I went and started as a shift supervisor for a manufacturing company. Um, I mean, they were fun, and serving the military was an honor. And then, but this is a blast. I mean, it's not.
Did you ever think that one day you would be working for a video game company?
No, no, not at all. No, I thought I was gonna be doing either sitting behind a desk crunching numbers
Hmm.
or management, and that was going to be it. Just do what you got to do to make a dollar and call it good. And
Yeah.
now I'm actually having a blast making a dollar.
Yeah, nice. Well, we wish you the best of luck. I know you're probably, like you say, you're enjoying it, so I can't say. There's nothing bad I can say. I wish there was something bad I could say. Light laggers. There we go. That's my big issue in the game right now. Other than
Okay, light laggers. All right, all right. Light lagging is not a glitch. It is people using a good system to do bad things.
hmm
We'll call it that.
Yeah, I mean,
Um,
I'm pretty aware of what it is and how it works and stuff like that. I don't know. A lot of people, I I don't call it a glitch, but I mean, it's just the one thing I hate about it is the fact that somebody's taking the system and using it for their advantage. And now I know that's human nature. We're going to take things, we're going to use them to our advantage any way we can. But I feel it just irritates me that this person um, somewhat gets an advantage in a way. I mean, it doesn't affect me too much, like as far as my race. Like my race, I'm pretty consistent.
I'll
but
give you a
it
prime
still
example.
irritates me inside that people still do it.
To me, as a player, this is what I feel like it is. If you got four guys on a or two guys are lined up on a track, and they're about to sprint to the finish line. Now you're in position,
Mhm.
and then player A kicks player B in the foot or steps on his foot, and then the gun goes off, and then you both start running, and another dude's just limping along because he got a bad start because the other dude kicked him in the freaking foot.
Mm-hmm.
That's what light lagging feels like to me. And the problem is there a fix for it? Well, technically the system's not broken. Is there a better way to do it? Maybe, but that takes a lot of time and work.
Mm-hmm.
So that's yeah.
Yeah, I
I've
know.
wasted too much.
I just like to complain. I'd say that's the one complaint I have. And if that is the only complaint I have right now, if that's my biggest complaint, I think we're doing pretty good. Um, I just wish there was a way where if they were going to light lag, we'll call it light lagging. We know whatever they do, they're delaying the signal. But whatever they're doing, I wish there was a way that my end, the race would go off as intended. I would there's the 3, 2, 1 launch, and I would race, and then since they haven't started yet, the only thing that would be affected would be the visual. The cars wouldn't match up because the computer wouldn't know what we're doing, and then I would just sit there and wait until they finished the race. The results came in, and they lose their car.
Yeah, but if you do it that way, then you have then you're not then the simulation on the other side of the lane isn't your opponent. And right now, that is your opponent. That's where the game thinks your opponent is. So all of a sudden, that becomes null and void if you do it that way.
Yeah, and I can see where that could get issues because then people say, "Well, I crossed the finish line first and I lost because there's the visuals not matching up with what actually happens." But nothing irritates me. Even if I win the race, there's nothing that irritates me more. I do get a good feeling going, I won your car, and you tried to take an advantage, and lag this, delay the start, and I won, but it still irritates me. That's my biggest bitch right now. That's my biggest complaint. So I guess we're doing pretty good then. So,
Oh, all right. So what y'all think of the Ford versus Chevy event?
I actually liked it. I could not. I had to go to a baptism today, which was fun. Don't get me wrong. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed visiting with friends and family. But I didn't get enough racing, man. I loved it. I loved it. And then I got home, I raced, and then I had to shut down about a half an hour early. I don't even know who won. I don't know. I mean, turf wasn't over but it was. I think I know the results, but I missed the last half hour because I just wish I could have. I wish I could have raced more. I loved it. I love I love the different ideas. We're getting to the point where a lot of the turf events, I won't say they're being recycled, but we've seen them all. I mean, I've been playing for 3+ years now, and I mean, I've seen. I think I've seen all of the events. Whether I raced in them or not is a different story, but I've seen them all, and I'd like to see some different events. Like Ford versus was that Ford versus Chevy? That was a new one, right? We've never done that before.
Uh, Somebody had said we did it in the past. I don't remember.
I don't either.
I don't. There's another one coming up this week. You've got the Cadillac CTS, so the SVRE is coming out. The one that has the big blower on the front of it. It's mean looking.
I saw the picture of it, but like I said, I had to shut down. I won't turn my iPad on, but I had to shut down shop a little early.
Here. Okay, can they see my screen?
Yep.
Okay, so that's the ad that just went up. Let me see. I gotta angle it.
So Camaro
And if you
battle, S class.
Yes.
I've been waiting for S class, and we have a front wheel drive street fight. Excellent.
Yes. Now, since I'm already getting pinged about it, now that Camaro battle. Hold on one second. My son is acting up. I'll be right. Just give me 2 seconds.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. So we're gonna have a Camaro battle, S class. I cannot wait for the S class. Do you guys like the S class? I know the S class for me is very fun. Just trying to read some of these. Craig's on. What's up, Craig? How you doing? I've missed S class. You have the ZR1, the Murcielago. You can race the Ford or the Subi Sport, the Ford. What is that new one? Super supercar super. Hey, what's that new Ford that was out? That's S class. It's the Ford Super. I don't know if it's a Super Sport or there was the. Or no, maybe it's an A class, and the old one's the S class. Maybe that's what I'm thinking.
Oh, the Falcon SG
The,
or FGB8 supercar.
that's it, the Falcon. Yeah,
Yeah.
I was going over some of the cars I could race for S class. I've missed S class, and it's finally we're back. We're reunited. It's great.
Now, here's the cool thing about the Camaro battle. It's not a 1969 Camaro. It's not a Z28 battle. If it's a Camaro, it's eligible.
That's awesome. See, I like that. Lots of cars, but yet one event. It's a single car event, but yet there's many choices, many options. I like that kind of variation. I think that's really cool. So then, front wheel drive. I think I know what I'll probably race the Honda Civic Type R.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm gonna have to decide here. I don't know.
I think there's going to be a lot of Civic SIs. Now, the Type R, I mean, it's easy to launch, it's easy to shift, it's one of the fastest D-class cars.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I don't know. I haven't raced. I always liked racing those cars because they were a gem car, so it was like a little bit of a little bit of value on the line. They were a little cheaper, but it was still they were like 75 gems or something, 90 gems, and when you raced it, you feel like there's meaning behind it. And I like that, not just like an SVT, just like, I lose it. I could lose 20 of them in a row and it wouldn't affect me. I'd get up, but you lose one car of value and you get up in the game, it makes you're like, oh, damn. You get up and for like 5 minutes, you're all pissed off. Somebody talks to you and you're like, don't talk to me. And then you realize, okay, I'm in a good mood again. I'm going back to race. So, but, any had questions? Who's got questions for Mr. Prodigal Grim? Prodigal Grim. Jeez. I know there's got to be millions of questions. I'm going to try to look at the chat. I got the camera here, but I'm going to try to pay attention to some chat, see if we can get some questions for you. And we're rolling up just about a half an hour now from the time we started. So probably slowly wrap it up here. I don't want to drag this one out too long. But you guys, what'd you think of the perfect launch tutorial? And let's see if we can get some questions here. What about blueprints? I can't finish. Is there anything? My guess is, do you think, are a lot of these vaulted cars that were in crates for blueprints, are they gone forever? Or, I mean, there's no guarantee, I'm guessing. Maybe they'll be back, maybe they won't.
until we say it's vaulted, it's not vaulted. It's just unavailable at this time.
Okay. Now, even vaulted though, does vaulted mean gone forever, or does that just mean gone forever until we bring them back? I don't know.
You know, with Heartbeat running the show, it can mean a lot of things.
Yeah.
I don't have a good answer for you right
Yeah.
now. I mean, I did a poll a few days ago where we were talking about the popular vaulted cars and stuff like that. And one of the things we were looking at is what made them so popular. Was it how they drive or how fast they go or what
There's
they
a
look
lot
like?
of different factors, to be honest with you. Like the Evo 8, it's probably one of the fastest in the B class back in the day. I think that might have had something to do with it, but the Evo has a following. There's a lot of people that like it in real life, so therefore I think and then like there's that factor. There's Subis. People love Subis. Like you could put the worst Subi out there, and I think people would still go ape shit over it because they love Subi. I mean, there's certain cars that have a following in real life, and I think that like the R34. People love that. ZR1, Camaro, the Z28. you name it. But there's that factor, and then there's the other that there's a few cars that may not be as popular in real life, but they have a certain edge to them in the game that either they're a lobby killer or they're just fun to race. A lot of it comes down to the actual mechanics of the RPMs, where you tap, the pattern. That plays a lot into people's enjoyment that they get out of a car, or not getting that enjoyment out of a car if it's something they don't enjoy. And there's different people. There's people that like a super hard challenge. There's people that like a super easy car, and then there's people that like somewhere in the middle. And depending on their personality and their what mood they're in, there's different. You can see they're like the Pagani, the Huayra, yeah. But there's some people that absolutely love it because it is super challenging. I personally,
Oh, that it is. That it
I
is.
personally don't like it because of that. I'll race it a few times until I get one good race, and then I'm done. I put it aside and I never really touch it again. Then there's other cars like the BMW M3 GT2, or to say no, the Ford Focus RSRE. That was a free car, essentially. Some of them. But damn, do I love that car. And because it's a free car, I love it because pinks are off the hook still to this day. You go into a lobby and within minutes, if you want pinks, you have pinks. Like there's that
Yeah.
excitement at your hand. Certain other cars, like if I took what did I just do? The W Motors, what the
The
hell is it?
Lykan Hypersport, Super
I'm not
Sport, one
going
of
to
the two.
find. Well, I'm going to find a million people who want that car, want to pink me. But if I to find that car out there and have a hypersport versus hypersport pinks, you're going to sit there for a week and a half. So there's
Oh
a
yeah.
balance. I like certain cars when there's a lot of them out there and they just nonstop action, really good. There was a question about tournaments. The 390K prize, was it? Is that gone? It is gone.
Um, until we figure out what's going on, like people were abusing the system. It wasn't pretty. So we're trying to get that worked out, and we're not going to let other people get abused while we're figuring it out.
All right. So Craig says check Facebook chat. Maybe he's got a question, or maybe he's got naked pictures he sent me. I don't know. With Craig, you never know. Let's see here. Okay, so club activity. So club activity. A buddy of mine he's a team leader, and he's really, really into team club activity. Like he think, and I,
Okay.
and I agree with him here because if I played a game on my own, I'd get bored. Um, or if I just decided I'm done, no big deal. There's nobody relying on me. But when you have a team, it brings in this certain group, a camaraderie where you have 19 other people, and I think he thinks along the same lines as I do, and I think that's very important to the game is to get more club activity. So, I don't know if I don't know if there's anything coming up that would satisfy him. I'm sorry, I'm trying to read some of these. He sent me some pictures here. I don't want to. Craig, no, it must have been cold. And he wants to know what's the reason. Here's a tough question, and you may or may not. But if you can't answer it, you can't answer it. But what's the reason behind bringing back banned accounts after 1 week of being banned? There's certain I don't know what they're doing. There's certain people that are doing
Um,
whatever they get
I don't
banned.
remember what was that for? Oh, the all right. Here's the thing. All right, we cannot 100% prove or disprove that you're using something. It requires an invasion of privacy to do that, and that's not so legal. Um, and we don't want to do that. But so we look for tall tale signs. And if we're good enough at catching the signs, then we can keep the bad stuff out.
Okay.
But I would rather have a player play and enjoy the game because if they're cheating, that means they're playing because they do enjoy the game. They just enjoyed it in a different way. And hopefully, if they can't use their maniacal methods,
Mm-hmm.
then maybe they'll play the game for real and still enjoy it. And we like, and that's kind of how we have to look at it. Unless I can 110% prove you're cheating, I can't smack you in the hand
Okay,
or with a
so
hammer. But I might be able to do a light slap.
so the I guess the confusion is that people were thinking that you were catching people red-handed in the cookie jar cheating. You were banning them for a week, and then you were saying, "Oh, okay, well you can come back now." So that's not the case then, right?
I can be 99.9% sure. I mean, these characteristics say that are almost undeniable that lead to the conclusion that you're using exploit A or exploit B, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But there's still that 0.1% chance. So
Enough said. We got you. Okay, so you have. Well, we're going to start wrapping it up real quick here, but you have a live stream on
a
Wednesday.
Wednesday. Okay, so everybody remember on Wednesday, 2 p.m. Pacific. That's 4 p.m. Central, 5 p.m. Eastern, just for everybody across the map. Um, Tune in to Rivals Live on Twitch. The channel is going to be Carbonated Live. We're on I think we're going into episode 3 coming up here.
Nice.
So tune in, enjoy, and I've got some bombshells for you.
Okay, yeah, all right. So you've got some bombshells. 99% of this is obviously stuff that you can't talk about here. But is there 1%? Is there something you could give us here? Something, anything, just to
Well,
tantalize us?
if you don't like the tuning system now, because when you're trying to prep a bunch of cars, then it's worth tuning into the channel for.
Ooh, you hear that?
Here's your tease.
Oh man, I'm definitely tuning in. I'll see you on Wednesday. I got a problem with Twitch is somebody has Pigpen the one and only, and it's not me. So I have to make up a fake account, and maybe I'll contact them, and I don't know if they'll do anything like that, but maybe they'll say, hey, yeah, we'll give you that account. You know, you have this YouTube channel, and they maybe want to see if I can bring some of my viewers over to Twitch. Maybe they'll hook me up and help me out, but I'm gonna have to make up a fake account, and I'll see you Wednesday. Well, that does it, guys. Guest for this evening is our very own community manager, Prodigal Grim. Huh? I think I got it good. Little stutter there, Prodigal Grim. And we've been talking racing rivals all evening long. So, Grim, thanks for joining me. It's been a
Yeah,
pleasure to have
my
you
pleasure.
here. And let's see, I have this thing figured out for my ending here. I just have to remember. I gotta get used to it. I practiced it a few times. So, I figured it out. All right, guys. Let me get my notes here. Thanks, Prodigal Grim, for joining us. And, oh, here it is. Okay. All right. Well, that's all the time we have for this episode of Racing Rivals Live. I'm your host, Pigpen, the one and only. If at any time you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, like, comment, subscribe, and share my videos, please. Special thanks to our guest, Prodigal Grim. Take care, everybody, and I'll see you again very soon with another perfect launch tutorial. Take care. Take care. We'll just go with that then.